All right, do it.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy LondonBridge here for Space Yacht Radio. I hope everybody's having a great Monday night or whatever night you're listening to this, if you're listening on the podcast. Today in studio, we have special guest, my friend, your friend, Ookay.
It's me. Hi.
Ookay.
Howdy.
Ookay is in the building. Thanks for being here, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Make sure to speak into the microphone.
Thanks for having me.
You're a soft-spoken man.
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, no, I mean your songs are very emotional. You have a very emotional side to you. I'm not.
I cry every night. I'm just kidding. Writing these songs in my underwear.
Well, I have a ton of questions to ask, but if you're watching on Facebook Live, please feel free to add any questions that you might have for Ookay the Legend. And it's your boy LondonBridge here. So let's start. I mean, basically, I want to let people know kind of the background here because not everybody knows the fact that you played the very first Space Yacht ever.
Yes.
Back at the Golden Box.
Well, yes. I played as Coaster, right?
So Coaster, that was like your side project.
That was my side project at the time. Not sure if it's coming back.
That was more of like a kind of housey?
That's
chill?
what I wanted Ookay to end up being, and it turned into that. I ended up just meshing the projects. So It's like, why am I going to separate the music if it's the same person? So I guess Coaster kind of dove into... Well, I originally was supposed to put Thief out as one of those side projects because it didn't fit anywhere. And like all the music stuff I was making at the time. I know I did Cocoon on my Cocoon EP. I did Sure. That was supposed to be a Coaster track. But I eventually embraced it. Right. And then, yeah, that was actually kind of like the end of Coaster. That was like one of the last shows.
So it was like the first and last show ever.
Yeah, because Ookay started gaining notoriety or more popularity. But I still wanted to play parties in LA, and then that was our go-to was like, all right, let's do the Coaster thing at Space Yacht.
Right.
Because and I told everyone that I was gonna play anyways, but it was nice to bring that name back for like a show.
Yeah, no, and especially for us, it was a big deal for us because it was our first one. Like we had known each other. Oh, hold on, he's got what is that guy called?
Vito. It's a Minion.
Yeah, it's a Minion, right?
Facebook moms, if you're out there, holler at your boy.
Shout out to all the Facebook moms. Shout out to my mom, although she's not on Facebook right now. Although she is on Facebook. She's on Facebook. Shout out to Toby.
She's not on right now.
Right. No, but I for like a little bit of, a lot of kids who like fuck with Space Yacht now don't know like the history and don't know like the first couple years.
Oh,
and
man.
You were definitely a fixture. You were there all the time, It
was it's just like the grounds to hang out with all your friends, especially it was a cool place to see like all these upcoming producers, It became like kind of our little fortress of hanging out, good music, drinks, and it was obviously more exclusive at the time, only because so many little people knew about it.
Well, it's
because we started posting about it all the time.
Right.
It started. There's more people started coming. You guys obviously grew.
Yeah.
Super hard in such great ways.
Right.
And it was cool seeing it like from the beginning to where it became. Or where it is now.
Yeah. No, and you're right. It had a different flavor in the beginning because
totally.
It really was just our friends.
Of course.
So it wasn't really like anything trying.
It happened organically.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was so organic, and it was, it was a place for us to go outside. Because as producers, we always sit in our computers and working and stuff.
No, that's always what it was. It was like I'd see you or I'd see like Dr. Fresh or somebody, and they'd be like, "Oh man, I was just in the studio for like 10 hours. I had to like leave,
I had to get out." Mm-hmm.
And that's what's also crazy. I mean, one of the things that when I was kind of looking back and thinking about our conversation, I was like, wait, like you'd always be there, like all the benches were always there.
Always hanging out.
Like Ghastly played
back
that
when
first
it used
one.
to be. What was the other?
The Golden Box.
It was after Golden Box.
And after Golden Box was called the Riff, but it was Cinespace. It was where Aoki used to
play
his parties.
Cinespace.
The upstairs one. The upstairs one.
That's when it was like super fun.
Yeah. No,
that's when a lot of the community got involved.
Right. No, and I think that's when that plays that was so year 1 was Golden Box, year 2 was the Riff, and I think that year 2 was where it kind of turned the corner into becoming like a brand or whatever. More than
totally.
Just like
a party. That's when the pizza started coming out.
Right. It's true. Well, no, the pizza originated because I think the toilets were broken for 2 weeks at the old venue, and Henry was like, how do we get people to go inside to listen to music? Because like nobody wanted to be inside because it kind of smelled like shit.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe I should forget this story. Leave it to lore. Don't want to remind the people who were there for that. But yeah, no. But it's. I was thinking about it and thinking about how many people fucking used to come and hang out, and now looking at these amazing careers that you have, like all the guys in the benches have had, like Gasly, Io, like all these people who were just there as friends, hanging out, like taking studio breaks, like you were talking about.
Exactly.
And like
it was on a Tuesday, so everyone wasn't touring. Like,
right.
You know, we were coming back, and we had our 1 day of rest on Monday, and then we're like, all right, I'm bored. Right. I need to go the hell outside. It takes 1 day for us.
Yeah, so, exactly. Isn't that fucked up? That's how I feel. Like I just got back from Asia tour, and I was like, one day, and then I was like,
how was the rest of that run?
That was crazy, man. That was like, so for those who
you guys were in Shanghai the day after.
We were in Shanghai the next day.
I remember that.
So a little update on if you were following the Asia tour, you might have seen a couple photos with Ookay in the photos as well. So he played It's the Ship. He was one of the headliners on It's the Ship, which is kind of Singapore's version of Holy Ship, kind of. Ish.
Pretty much.
Kind of like that.
Yeah.
And so it was great because I think I totally spaced that you were on the lineup. So when I saw you and Jenks, I was like, oh shit,
I had no idea who was playing. It, like until like the day before, I started packing.
Yeah. No, it was so awesome. And then like
I didn't know until I started. Well, I was already headed to the airport. Is when Jenks told me.
Right.
He's like, oh.
Yeah,
Rami, everyone's gonna be there.
Homies,
I was like, "What?"
No, it was so it actually made it so special because it was our first time to Asia. So in general, like we didn't know what to expect. But having the first like 3 days be like, you know, hangs with our friends. Then
welcome to my life,
like
dude.
we had the day off in Singapore where we went to the museum and shit. Like that was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like
that place is great, right?
Dude, amazing experience.
We did the Disney one, and then we did the
light,
art,
museum of light
art. Yeah, that was really cool.
Dude, that was crazy. I have some good videos of you and me drawing like crayons at that light museum.
Yeah. That was a vibe.
Maybe I'll post one of those.
That was like the perfect day off.
It really was. And then your boy in Singapore who like makes tacos, like we had like some ill tacos.
Poppy's Tacos. Shout out to Poppy's Tacos.
Shout out
in Singapore.
Maurice. Shout out to Maurice at Poppy's Tacos. If you're in Singapore listening to this right now, go
check it out. Go search it up on Yelp.
Very
give him a good
legit.
review.
Very legit. But no, that was like, so yeah, the rest of the tour was great, but It's the Ship really set the tone because it was so fun, and like Nitty was there with us.
Yeah,
and then,
he just texted me too.
And What's So Not was there with us, so we actually ended up having a bunch of friends, and then everybody kind of made friends with Solardo. That like ended up being like the theme because like those guys are just animals.
Oh, absolute.
So great.
Legends.
Like the sunrise set was
one of my favorite moments of that show.
Yeah, absolutely. There was like
I saw Danik stumbling back to his hotel room. Or his hotel room. His room.
Ship room,
His ship room. And I forced him back out, and he stayed another 2.5 hours. The sun was already up. He's still dancing.
Oh my god!
It's like, yes, this is exactly what I wanted.
It was
sabotage. Danik sleeping,
and just the legend of like playing with boxes, like Avion boxes on the head. I think that was happening with Solardo at one point. We did the conga line at one point, which was pretty fun.
In the space. Oh, it was during your set.
Yeah, it was just good times, man.
You're just a party starter.
That's what we like to do. Anyway.
Anyways.
All right. So I mean, I always do this with all my interviews. Like I have a bunch of questions, and then it ends up I never ask them. But I am personally as a fan like interested in your progression because when we first met, we met through Borgor like a long time ago, just through as a mutual friend.
Exactly.
And I think I saw one of your first shows. I don't think it was your first show, but it was at El Cid. Do you remember that one? That was
El
like
Cid.
It was like it's like in Echo Park, and it was like it was like I think Kennedy Jones was playing or something, and it was just like
it was like a Moombahton night.
Yeah, it was kind of like a underground vibe to it. It wasn't in the main room, but I remember I went with the Soph to see you, and this was actually
that was at Los Globos.
Los Globos, sorry, Los Globos.
That was like that's Los Globos.
Was that the first?
That
show?
was my first LA headline show that I sold out. Yeah,
and it was popping, and that was when you were wearing like the bandana and stuff.
That was a real important show for my career, I believe.
Really, what about it? Just because
everyone was there.
Everyone was there, and they saw you shred.
Yeah. It was kind of it was an interesting moment because it kind of all aligned up perfectly. I was gonna do. I think I did that show for free.
Yeah.
Or I think I did it for like really low, which was really cool because I would still do that.
Right.
But I mean that's when I really kind of took it all seriously in the sense of like, oh, this is really something special.
Right.
Like people really resonate with the music that I'm playing.
Right.
Because I played a couple. I think a week or two prior, I showed up to do a little private set there at the same venue, and I think it was only like 12, 13 people, but obviously I didn't announce it or anything because I knew I was going to play there again.
Right.
But I was there supporting some friends, and it was a low night, and I ended up playing that show, and it was fun, but when you're playing to like nobody, you're kind of like, okay,
right,
how do you keep the night going?
Right.
And then a couple weeks later I went back to play like my first headlining set there, and I was like, whoa.
Right. No, it was
Cool. It was cool to see it like overnight, I guess, kind of.
And there was an energy to that show.
Yeah.
Like people were like kind of bouncing off the walls because it was like the platform was just elevated a little bit. It wasn't like what we see now with these huge productions.
Yeah.
It was like a basement pretty much.
It was crazy.
But it was popping and totally packed. And
it was like a dream for me, for real. That was like my first like, wow, there's like people here. This is crazy.
And how long before that show had you been producing or doing the Ookay project?
That was like what 2012 maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably only like 2 years prior.
Right.
But it was like 2 years with 2 different names and going through. I wasn't having I was having a crisis of what kind of artist do I want to be? What do I want to do? You know.
Right.
And then trap came along around. Yeah, like that's when I first heard like Harlem Shake and all that kind of stuff. I was like, oh, this is a cool route, and it reminds me of a little bit more of the music style that I like personally. So, because I was doing the house stuff for so long, and it always has a place in my heart for sure. But production wise, I wanted to venture off into different realms and do different things outside of the box, at least for myself musically. And people started to catch on, I guess, and I started making all these like covers, or not covers, like bootleg remixes and stuff. And then that's how I met Asaf, and then that was that night. I think he played a couple of my records in San Diego. That's when I first met him. And then I told him I was going to do the show, so he came, and it was like a whole thing.
Yeah.
But it's interesting how fast it happens.
It's funny.
That wasn't that long ago.
No, it wasn't that long.
8 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. And it's interesting to hear you say that at a time you're like, what kind of artist do I want to be? Because the thing I think that's most striking about your artist career is the fact that like your music is so across the board in like a beautiful way where like, the last couple records you put out are kind of more house based and like you're playing a techno set at Space Yacht and then you have like your whole fucking album, which is like to me a singer-songwriter album, you know what I mean, with electronics as a part of it.
Right.
So, was there a point at which you kind of faced yourself saying, you know what, I'm actually going to do whatever the fuck I want and not be in a box? Because it's like, with producers, it's the hardest thing to do to be like, no matter how much you don't want to chase a sound, we're always chasing a sound,
of course.
Until you establish what your sound is, right?
Exactly.
So was there kind of a specific moment for you when you were like, fuck it, I'm just doing me?
Man, you really worded that well, because for me personally, I always had an idea in my head of what I wanted my music to become. Finding that within kind of all these elements that you take from other kinds of music to create something that's unique enough to make you a standout artist, I guess, just happens organically. And it's one of those things you have to test the waters and you have to fail. I know you see this sign right here. It says try, fail.
Try, fail.
And that's really what it comes down to. A lot of the records that I have, reaching back to even 4 or 5 years ago, not stuff I would put out today either.
Right.
But it shows you like how many times you have to make music for you to get something right, and it's something that you're at least proud of, because people always, you only hear the records of people that they're really proud of.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you never actually think about those nights where you have writer's block or something, and for me it's like, well, I can't make another trap song right now. It all sounds the same, For me, that's what it was getting down to. Right. One, I did, found my sound within trap music, and around the time I made Hotline Bling, I was like, man, I really like got everything down I wanted with this kind of music. So where do I go from here? And that's when I really started to take these L's and send my music that was obscure to labels, and them turn it down. That's what Thief was. As arguably one of my first melodic records. That one actually was denied by a label before I put it out for free. And that's like one thing you have to realize. It's like not everyone's gonna agree on what you envision for yourself, but it's going against the grain is something that I feel like is really important as an artist and as a person in general, I think. And it's something that I've learned to do, and as far as like musically continue to go, because sometimes I get in my own head too about the whole situation of like, oh, this is too left field, or I can't play this live, I still get that with some of the music I make right now. So, you have to be very hesitant, and you have to think, is this something I want to do for my career? Is go this way? And the answer is usually just fuck it. right. To make it short, just fuck it. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I've gone about now. That's why I'm making house records. I just want to DJ for a little bit.
Right.
I want to go back to that. It's
Right.
like that was fun for me when I started. And when I was doing the live show, I missed the DJing stuff, and that's why I started doing like small after parties after festivals, because like I miss these like nights where I can make all these cool edits, because I'm good at that too,
Yeah, no, and it's a totally.
I don't want to lose that skill.
And your live show is totally different from.
Oh
It's
yeah,
not a DJ set.
no.
At all,
And
so.
now I have those skills. Like I know I can do that, and I can go back to that eventually. And when that is, I don't know, but. Right now.
Yeah, so is that on hold for the moment in terms of the live stuff?
Yeah. I mean, not for long. I'm already to the point where I missed it a lot, and I miss being on that stage and working with the crew as amazing as mine. I have a lot of people who support what I do and are a part of this team. Essentially, Ookay Live isn't one person. It's multiple people. So I miss that group of people, and working with them on that project was so special. Yeah. Made so many friends along the way.
Well, I think it also made a statement as well of like that you were going to kind of follow your own path. You know what I'm saying?
Of course,
it's like you could have stuck with the DJ thing and gotten more pyro and more this and more that.
Yeah.
And you almost, even though you had like more instruments, it was like stripped down.
Yeah, stripped down,
way,
and then
I mean?
we made it more accessible, at least for me, to perform comfortably, and something that is more of like a feast on the eyes. Something that you're like engaged with. Right. I wanted that to be the case. I wanted it to be a performance. That's what I wanted it to be.
Right.
That's where I saw it. And the music was just a part of it.
Right. Got it. And you wanted to wear jumpsuits.
Yeah, I wanted to do outfit changes. I don't know. I have this big obsession with Prince. So I was like, how that's always how do I feed my inner Prince?
So in just kind of going on this kind of trajectory of talking about kind of your progression as an artist.
Yeah.
Has it been methodical or like planned out, or has all of this stuff kind of just been like you made the music and then you're like, all right, I'll figure the live show out? And does it start with the music or does it start with?
It happens with pressure.
Right.
If I don't pressure myself, nothing gets done.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's how I work.
Right.
And like for the live show to even begin, I had a booking offer for Nocturnal, which was my first one. I think it was 2016. Yeah. 16? Yeah. 16, 17. One of those 2 years.
It all blurs together.
I don't even know anymore.
It really does.
When I did the live show, we had 2 months to figure out something from scratch with all the music that I already had up to that point, which I think was only like Chasing Colors and Lighthouse. It was like the only other release. So I'm like, shit. I only have like 4 melodic tracks and I have to fit.
What do you do?
So you make music around it. So, for me, I was just like creating songs as I went to fill in the time. And those turned into the songs of their own, and then that became my album. Like that wasn't planned.
Right.
I didn't plan that.
Right. No, so for the album, I think of it, if you're not familiar with the album, you should check it out because it's very much a singer-songwriter album. Even though it's in the world of electronic music.
It was me just testing the waters and something that I wanted to kind of just make a statement as a hey, I want to do something that feeds me and my soul and like
right.
that I resonate with. I wanted to do something for myself for once,
Right. Did those start on piano or guitar, or did they start on the computer? What was
a little bit of piano, and I kind of had a bunch of ideas sitting there, and I started writing around it.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of had an envision in my head of like how I wanted the set to go and along, and the energy that I wanted to portray in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I started to write those songs for that moment. So I wrote the song for the moment.
Interesting.
For me,
so it's like you almost like you did write the song for the live show,
exactly,
and then the album becomes the product of that.
Exactly.
That's like totally
backwards. Yeah, it's backwards.
What everybody does.
Well, it's because I was already doing the show, and I was like, shit. Well, I'm not. I could play a bunch of trap music, but then I'm not performing trap music.
Right.
So I had to. It was like 2 months of, in the studio every day and writing music that would fit. The vocals came later, and that was actually like the last thing I did before I played the show. I was like, I had to like learn the words to the songs that I was about to perform for the first time.
So was Thief the first one where you put your vocal on it, or is that like what was the first vocal track?
The first song I did was with Getter. It was Told Ya, and that's a song we actually put out. You can go check it out. Just look up Told Ya by Getter and Ookay.
Yeah.
Featuring Ookay. But that was like my first. Hey, I'm gonna kind of put my vocals out there, and then did a couple other records. For like my Ghost EP, I did like some background vocals, and then for my Cocoon album, I did Sure, and after that is when Thief happened. But like I said, I didn't know it was going to turn into what it is now.
Right.
And then that's what kind of gave me the confidence to go forward with, all right, let me try singing on more records. And then, I co-wrote Lighthouse with Fox Stevenson, and we kind of did like a blend of both of our vocals on that track, which is cool.
Right.
But he taught me a lot about like using vocals as an instrument. That was a cool thing that I really learned from Fox, and I admired from his project that he's doing now. Is just the way he takes his stuff seriously is like vocally, and I'm like, oh wow, like there's so much tools behind how to make something sound great.
Right.
And that's like what I'm going through now. I'm like, all right, let me play with more vocal stuff, let me try more stuff out now for my next project. So right now I'm just testing the waters with a bunch of music, and then also doing a lot of, again, like house stuff and DJ stuff while I go along,
Yeah.
just to make things interesting.
Right. Well, no, like your DJ set, like when I saw you on It's the Ship, I mean,
Yeah.
it was traptastic. Right? Like the drops were fucking heavy and
Yeah.
hard, and people fucking love that. And that was like cool for me because I've been following a lot of the live stuff.
Yeah.
And then I said to you, like, before you went on, I was like, what are you going to play? And you're like, I don't know. I'll figure it out. And it was like such a dope set. Like I was like, I really was blown away by that set. It was really
thanks,
because
man.
of the fact that like, because I've been following what you've been doing, and then you're like, yeah, I'm just gonna step back into this realm right now and fucking blow your head off. You know what I mean? It was awesome.
do that for me, For me, it's
Yeah.
so much fun to just like play music that I like, because I'm always on SoundCloud. I'm always seeing what other artists are doing
Right.
and kind of growing from them
Right.
a little bit, and learning that from the young guns, I guess, essentially.
Well, it's interesting because you think that when somebody starts doing something that like that's all they're listening to, or like you know what I mean, and it's like
not.
so not. The
Dude, I was
deal,
listening to bluegrass before I got here.
Nice.
Super random.
Yeah, that is super random.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you're just joining us on the live stream, we're here with Ookay, just chatting about stuff.
We're chatting about stuff.
Just chatting about
any
things.
questions you guys have?
And any questions? I actually have some Twitter questions. I have other questions in mind, but let's hit some of the Twitter questions from earlier because. So this one is from my boy Endvers Media. He's an amazing photographer out of Las Vegas. Shout out. He goes, will there be any more trap releases in the future? I still bump Chicken Run. Okay, trap
oh my
flip
goodness. Actually, I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I've been playing a couple of records that I started a while back, going back into like the egg drop soup kind of releases, more of kind of like that signature sound. I started doing a little bit more of that again. Doing more collaborations. I actually have 2 records coming out before the end of the year, hopefully.
Who are they with? Can you divulge?
Well, we actually know one sweet boy. His name's Nitty Gritty.
Oh, fucking Nitty fucking Gritty.
Yeah, that's
our
why
favorite TikTok celebrity.
Yeah, I know, right? What's up with that? That's
he's
great.
fucking killing it. I saw he's got 220,000 followers on TikTok.
That's insane.
And then he released his first vlog with Shaq, so he's going to become a YouTuber. It's fucking lit.
Just gotta do it, man.
Great producer, great guy.
Yeah. Very creative, hands-on. I like that.
Yeah. So Nitty Gritty, and then who's the other collab with?
Lax.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so that one's finally coming out too.
That's probably heavy, yeah.
Yeah, more of the heavier stuff. And then I have a collaboration with Hydraulics.
Oh shit!
And then Nonsense.
Isn't he from Australia?
Yeah, I believe so.
Australian, he played like the 3rd or 4th Space Yacht.
Really?
Yeah, played really early on.
Yeah, he's awesome.
That was crazy. Like looking back at year 1 of who played our shit, and was like,
yeah. Don't you have that like giant?
Well, we're recapping this year.
Good lord!
Shout out to Dom who works on our marketing team. She spent the last 2 days
compiling,
writing down
list.
everybody who's played in 2019, and we had 150 shows this year.
Wow.
So shout out to Dom. Thank you for doing that. Amazing. But yeah, no, year 1, we look back at those the people who played, and we're like, we could never even afford to have those people play our shows anymore. The agents won't return our calls, but we know.
Well, that's the whole fun about like keeping the lineup so low key and having people come figure it out. It's like, you go for the environment.
Well, yeah, no, and one of the things that I was like, so I want to give a little bit of the backstory of how Ookay playing techno the other, 2 weeks ago at Space Yacht.
How did that even start?
So how did that even start? So as you guys know, if you follow Space Yacht, we had these closing parties. We did a month of parties, and we tried to do different genres for each one. So we had a techno one coming out, and we were on tour, and Ookay was with us. And we were like, oh, we want to do a techno night. And he'd been playing in his hotel room since like the most dark, like dirty ass techno shit. And he's like, I'll play a techno set. And I think, no, we were in the van when you said that. And then me and Henry were like, okay, whatever. And then like the next day, you're like, no, you're like, no, really, I want to play the techno set. So that's kind of how that came about, was like in a hotel room in Singapore.
We were actually coming. Wait.
We were back from the ship.
We were back from the ship.
You were playing that stuff in your room, and I was like, "Damn, dude, this shit is fire."
Yeah. The next day, I was on Beatport like crazy, and just like finding all these records,
dude. And then I was seeing on Twitter like that got such an amazing response, and
yeah,
you know
I know.
I mean? Like people love it when established artists come and shred like a different genre. You know,
it's fun.
I'm gonna play my.
I want to do a Moomba tone set next.
Sure. No, we want to do some Moomba this year, and a lot more techno this coming year. We're starting to plan 2020, and
dude,
just kind of get into it.
Yeah, listen to good techno, man. Techno slabs.
Yeah.
Techno and like hard dance stuff.
That stuff is coming.
They call it hardcore.
Did you see after you played Lil Texas did his?
Yeah, he was great.
And then that girl like got all upset, gave the thumbs down. We tried to make the T-shirt, but she wasn't really down. So whatever.
Rats.
It's all good. It's all good.
Right.
It's all love.
It's
all love. If you're listening to this or watching this, it's all love.
We love you.
We love and respect you. You are a celebrity in our world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Going back to Twitter questions. This one
yeah.
comes from my boy Ocean Roulette, awesome DJ producer himself. He goes, "How intensely should an opening DJ bang it out?"
How intensely?
Well, I think that's a
Intensely?
reference. I think it's a reference to Carnage. Do you know about? Have you been following this Carnage stuff?
Wait.
Well, he tweeted. Carnage tweeted something about like openers should just play as hard as they want to play, and then it just kind of made EDM Twitter go crazy about like it being bad advice. But if you're not hip to the meme,
if you can find the actual tweet,
I'll find the tweet. Here, I'm going to find the tweet for you now. I know the tweet.
All right, let's read the tweet out as it was supposed to be said and take it from there.
Exactly. What's crazy is that EDM Twitter went off on two things: the Carnage thing this week, and then Seth Troxler Camel Fat beef. Did you follow that?
I saw that one because you know why? Because Solardo got involved,
right?
And I love them.
They made a T-shirt, and I was like, "You guys are fucking doing the right thing." They made this T-shirt. In response, but here, let's go to the Carnage thing real quick.
Okay, yeah.
And the thing is,
I need some context.
I'll give you context. And by the way, this Carnage thing, everybody has different opinions, so it's not like something where
it's just something to keep people talking, right?
It's just people talking.
That's good. I feel like we need to be challenged, right?
Okay, here we go.
At least a little bit.
Here we go.
It's not negative.
Okay, here we go.
It means we care.
I'm just trying to. Everybody who's following on, I'm just trying to read the exact tweet because I don't want to misquote. Here we go. Carnage. Here we go. So this is the tweet. If you're not hip to EDM Twitter, Carnage tweeted this a couple days ago, and he said, "Openers should always bang it out. ... If the headlining DJ gets mad at you, it just shows that they're insecure. That one opening slot might be in front of an important agent or promoter. Give it your all. It could make you or break you." So I think the sentiment of this is actually very like encouraging, right? It's like,
I feel like
do your thing.
Yeah.
So what's your opinion on that?
Well, bang it out doesn't necessarily mean, I guess, play all the bangers.
Right.
It's just bang it out, like play your best set. For me, it's like kind of give it
your all on some level.
For me, it's like play like you think everyone's watching. You know.
Right.
The same way you should carry yourself, though. I mean, that's a life. You know, for me, it's like I always care. I try to carry myself as though everyone's watching. Something my mom taught me when I was very young. Mm-hmm. So I think that goes with your performance as well, you know? Like, someone could be watching. That doesn't mean, like, you play all the anthems. There also is some sort of respect, you know, thing. Like, you don't want to try to... It's not a competition, you know? Obviously, like, when I used to... Because I used to play opening slots, too. So I already know what kind of music... You have to read the room, you know? Right. And then that's what being a good DJ is. But also, it goes down to say that if banging it out means playing your own original productions, who's going to get mad at you for that?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
For me, it's like make the music that you want to play. If you're just like a local DJ and, you know, if you're a DJ, you should learn to read the room. And I think that's like important to say as well, is like you want to set up the room for the great night, and you have to think of the whole night involved, not just yourself.
Right.
For, you know, a DJ just plays a simple role within everything.
Right.
Whether you're the headlining or the opener, you know, it's making sure the room has a great night and it has a good experience.
Right.
For me, it's like you can play great records and it doesn't have to be a tear out dubstep set, or it doesn't have to be like every anthem ever, you know? I want to hear songs that I've never heard before.
Right.
That to me makes a good DJ. It's like, oh, what is this? This is the only place I can hear it is right now.
Yep.
And that goes with skill. That goes with, you know, your edits. That goes with, you know, how well you curate your set. And I think that's more of the bang, you know. That to me is banging it out, is finding the right songs for the room in that moment. You know, whether you're the headliner, whether you're not. You know, because, you know, even at festivals, you know, you play your stuff and you get booked for that, right? And that's how the set list is. But if we're talking about clubs, for me, a club is kind of like, I mean, it's a kind of like a business, I guess, right? So you kind of go back into how do we make this the best night ever for everyone here, including yourself. For me, it's playing the music that you feel is right for the moment. And if someone gets mad at that, I guess that's on them. But
yeah. No, I guess I get what you're saying on that. I mean, I think what I'm realizing from this is actually how non-nuanced Twitter can be.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Well, I mean, you can't read his like.
Well, no, because the way you're explaining it is it's like very thoughtful, and I'm like,
yeah, but you can't explain that in two. Well, how many characters are on Twitter?
You know what I'm saying? No, but that's what I'm saying is that because people immediately were like, excuse me.
Yeah.
People are like. Immediately like, oh my God, you'll never get booked again. Like, that's not how. Like, people like.
No, that's not true.
But what you're saying is like, well, wait, what does bang it out mean?
Yeah, what's bang it out mean? Because does bang it out mean play every anthem banger of all time like in a set, or does that mean treat the room correctly and play an hour set or however long you're supposed to make everyone have a good time? Right. I feel it's like playing the right music for the right room. You know,
right.
Whether you're in a hip-hop room, whether you're in a top 40 room, whether you're in an EDM trap night, how do you play the right music for that moment?
100%.
There's a difference between a DJ and producer again. You know, it's like, are we talking about DJs now? Right. If we're talking about DJ, I feel banging it out means treating the room correctly.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
You're an atmosphere bringer. You set the tone for the night.
I like that.
If you're just gonna play it banger, 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 then.
I do agree. What I will say is if we're counting banger as the anthem, then I actually do agree with the people who are against this, where it's like, no, you like, because I've booked people who play like levels at like 9 p.m. and I'm like, I don't know if that's the appropriate, but
also you didn't make that song, so there's also that argument. It's
that's true.
If this is an edit or some kind of like remix that you made, and something cool to like add a flavor to it, and not just levels, like I get it. You know what I mean? There's a tasteful way of doing things. It's interesting
how that because it really struck a chord. People really were like getting
but I understand the etiquette when it comes to DJing in a room and not being the headliner of the night. And I get that too because I was also the opening DJ, so I understand those boundaries and those rules. I'm not gonna play, an edit or a remix that the headliner has made or is something kind of relevant, but I would put my own taste into what I think the music would need for that night before the headliner goes on.
Right.
But if you're playing your own music, who's gonna get mad at you for that?
Right. No, it's true. It's true. So on this topic, I mean, I was just thinking, like, what's your take? Social media, good or bad? Like for
horrible.
you,
God,
horrible.
I hate it.
So let's.
It's a great tool.
But let's narrow it down specifically to being an artist and artist emotions. I want to actually speak specifically around that.
Like mental health and stuff?
Well, not mental health as much as it is. I mean, I guess it's mental health, but I mean...
Just how everything's like...
I just find that I've found for myself personally that it can be not helpful to me in terms of like turning it into a competition, whether I want it to be that way or not. Yeah. Jealousy, all these things that we know in our heads, be like, dude, don't be that way.
It takes you back to high school shit, like,
right?
So, like, popularity.
So for you, do you have a way that you deal with social media? Does it like step on stuff? Is it in your life?
I roll my eyes every time at the social media thing because I hate it. Oh God,
we hate it, but we
need it.
Love
it's such a necessary tool.
It's kind of this weird like love-hate.
But for me personally, I started putting time limits on all my apps and kind of keep it for a set time during the day. It's just so easily to distract. So I feel like everyone should take time for next year to start, unfollowing accounts that stop you from doing your daily activities.
Totally.
And if you don't want to see something, that's on you. It's your timeline.
Right.
You get to control what you're seeing, So I think if you hate it a lot, you should take a step back and see, why do I hate it so much? Why do I see everything as a competition? No offense to any of my friends, but I don't follow them on Twitter or Instagram. And if I do, it's like I have 2 accounts, So I have one that's like art curated and, like my Twitter and all that. I have my own account where I can just like talk about things or, repost funny memes, but I don't post that on my Ookay account,
Right.
And even that is just like I kind of keep that for work and like cool things and engaging things with fans, obviously. So for me, I see it as a chore every day. God, I wish I had someone to do it for me because I'm to the point. I was like, I wonder what my life would be without the social media. And from what I've seen, people seem super happy. So
I think it's a love-hate.
It's kind of like ignorance is bliss with the whole situation.
Right.
You know,
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's only competition when you're like looking at somebody else's shit, and even then it's not a competition. But for me, like I constantly get roped in. I actually feel a lot better than I used maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah,
it meant more to me, and now I'm just kind of like whatever. I'm just doing my own thing.
It's just like you have to open it at least once a day, and every time you do, you're like, hey, let me just.
Right.
Whatever.
No, I have a new thing. Like if I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm not allowed to open up those apps.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, all right, it's 3 a.m. Obviously, I'm having trouble sleeping. There's nothing on here right now that's gonna help.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I try to charge my phone on another side of the room.
That's so. In terms of studio, do you have like any rules for studio? Do you turn your phone off? How do you address like it not interfering with working?
I definitely put it on vibrate, and if I have my headphones in already, then I can't hear it anyway.
Right.
So it's just like every once in a while I'll glance, but. Everything can wait.
Somebody said something about like every time you get interrupted, it takes 20 minutes to get back into flow or something around that area. So that's a big thing for me. I've been like turning my phone off or doing do not disturb.
I have to start. I had to realize not everything is.
Yeah.
It's not like in the movies. It's just like you have 50 seconds or it's not gonna happen. Like there's no. What's the. What's the urgency, like in replying or why do we always have to be feeding ourselves something?
No, I feel you.
And that's what it stops me for sure. I mean, like I said, it is a good tool, and for me, I find a lot of inspiration on there.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's inspiring to see what other people are doing.
Yeah. But
I just take a second and look at it and kind of keep it there. I mean, it's been toxic for sure.
You had a good tweet recently. You tweeted a whole new decade of music. How exciting. So I wanted to ask you, looking back at this last 10 years, like what are the top moments for you as a music fan and artist? Like take 2 or 3 that like, let's say are really impactful from inspiration type way from the last 10 years for you. Okay.
For me, like my career, or just
for
like
you, like what
music?
like certain things impact people in a certain way.
Like
the
Coachella
first
was like one of the coolest things.
Playing Coachella,
yeah. But also like doing it as a live show and like bringing my whole performance there after 2-3 years of like curating it to be that performance for that time.
Right. No, but I'm saying more actually as a fan. Like
as a fan.
Music.
Oh, I thought you were saying like.
Well, no, that's
my music.
That's
good
too.
I was like,
no, but I'm saying more like I know, for example, like for me, the first Rufus the Soul album when that came out, that was like holy shit. This is like the most impactful shit to me. It just like meant a lot.
Shit. Okay.
So, are there any like whether it's albums or performances or people you've met like in the last 10 years of music? Because we're about to go into this new decade, so I'm like,
see, I saw Jacob Collier perform a while ago. It was at El Rey Theater.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know who he is.
I don't.
He's awesome.
What's the vibe?
It's kind of jazz influenced, but he's kind of like he does everything himself as well. He did his whole one-man band thing, which inspired me a lot. But Quincy Jones was there that night.
Sick.
He actually manages him,
the legend.
Yeah, I know, right? That's pretty crazy. But just seeing how musical a person can be, and kind of like in a prodigy-esque.
Mm-hmm.
No, he pretty much is a prodigy. He's a pretty young dude, but just so insightful on like using music as an emotional tool, and like filling in all those gaps to make everything as pretty as possible and like making it work. I think definitely it taught me a lot about music and taking a different approach. So that impacted me a lot, is seeing that performance and how someone can use all these elements to create such beautiful music.
Yeah.
Another thing, oh man.
We can come back to it if
I'm trying to think. I guess I don't know. I've been so focused, so I don't really know what else is happening out there. Solange's album is great. I don't know if you've heard her album.
I haven't.
Her most recent album. I just like the way that she's taking her performances into galleries and making it more of like an art performance, and like that's how she's setting up her concerts. I think that's really cool, and using kind of like how Kanye's doing like the Sunday service thing, and making it more of like an everybody, communal kind of situation.
And also just changing it up from your normal venue.
Yeah, exactly. It's like music should be available everywhere. Right. Taking it into park. That's like what I did with the whole taking the speaker out to like the subway and all that kind of thing. It's like taking music with you.
That was so dope. I love those videos from that.
That was fun.
So talk a little bit about that. What was like the backstory from that? Because you were like on the subway with fans.
Yeah. I was actually pretty nervous about doing it, just because like I guess I was pretty shy about being in the limelight, I guess, in a public space like that, and just like
Well, yeah, New York City. It's like
yeah. Well, anywhere. Yeah, anywhere. So for me, it was kind of getting over that fear of like, oh, I wonder if anyone's gonna show up, and like really coming one-on-one with my fans and having that moment. It was really cool because I was like, wow, this many people actually listen to my music, are willing to engage outside of just a concert or Spotify or something like that.
Everybody looked so stoked.
It was super cool. I was like, oh, damn. Like, I didn't realize how much of an impact I had in, like, people's lives like that. It was interesting.
That's dope. That's what we do this for on some level.
Enough about me. What about you? What are you up to?
I'm just
now that, like,
doing radio shows.
Now that Space Yacht is, is taking a resting period.
You know what's funny about that is that everyone's like, oh, you're taking a break, and it's like me and Henry
have
been here every day,
of course
working
not.
on next year.
I'm taking a break from so much stuff, and I'm still working.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't even get it twisted.
There's never ending work. But no, I'm psyched. I'm actually going to be home for the kind of Christmas break, so I'm actually excited to work on music because I got new speakers and. You know, when you get new gear, it's like.
What are you gonna do? EP and release?
I don't know. I've got a lot. I have probably 20 records that I haven't. This year I didn't put records out because I was just like, I don't want to deal with that. Like honestly, is from an emotional perspective. I was like, I don't want to deal.
Release phobia is also crazy.
Right. So it's like no, and then it was funny. It's like I got booked for this festival for next year, which I'm excited to announce at another point. And then I was talking to Henry, and he's like, bro, you need to put records out. He's like. So you want to get booked on these festivals? Like you can only use your like friendships for so long. You need to put records out. You need to be meaningful in that realm. So and I agree with that. So I think doing like a record a month for next year, like every month putting something out, I think is cool.
There's no rush.
And then I have a remix coming out on Friday for actually like totally outside of. It's just kind of I took this rock record and kind of made like an electronic rock version of it. It's not even a house. It's not even a club record.
Who cares?
So that comes out on Friday. It's by a band called Spirit Animal. A song called Painkiller. I did the remix.
Oh, nice.
But that's all. I mean, I don't know. Just trying to figure it out. Trying to hang with my wife and my dogs. You know.
Let life make the music for you.
I got a couple other Twitter questions.
Ooh, let's do it.
Hold on. Let me see what's going on here. Oh yeah, we're crushing this. Hold on. Here we go. So this one is from Flo Seattle. At Flo Seattle asks, if you had a choice between getting punched out by a kangaroo on a desert island as the last life raft sails away, or put reverb on your sub bass for the rest of your life, which would you choose and why?
Stupid. I'm gonna go with reverb on the sub bass because if I can get past that challenge, I'm probably like a good producer.
Exactly. Just sidechain it out.
Also, you don't have no idea how much reverb you actually need on a kick. You never said how much reverb.
Right, it could just be a small amount.
Little tail.
Small amount.
In your face.
Caesar 93 asks, why do you only do techno sets at Space Yacht? So I think
the world isn't ready.
I think he wants to see more techno.
I would love to do a small little run of that kind of shit.
Fucking smash that shit, man.
I would have to make more records like that though. I would do like a two-track release kind of techno banger set or like EP and then take it on like a small run around like cities. I don't know.
Hold on one second. Somebody's texting me who's supposed to come over here.
Uh-oh. Don't say what's up. I wonder if anything's on.
Did it. Sorry. One last question from Twitter.
Uh-oh.
This is from...
Who's this from?
I don't know. Somebody asked me. How long does it take you to frost your tips?
Oh, my goodness. So long.
So long?
It's natural, so you have to start at the root and then let them grow out. So probably like 4 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks.
4 or 5 weeks.
Except I haven't done that in so long. When's the last time I had dyed hair?
I don't know.
Unless we're going back into like the early 2001s, we're doing a whole like reboot of the decade.
Right, exactly.
Just going back to
So is there any
In Sync.
Another question is what's going on with the benches for 2020? Is there any bench activity going on? The super group. I mean, you know what I love about the benches? Like you all were at Space Yacht year one.
Yeah.
You all have individually created amazing careers for yourselves, and then when you guys finally got together to do the super group, it literally is like a fucking super group of of homies. I mean, that's the thing. These guys are like your best friends.
Friendship.
It's amazing. So you guys have any sets for coming up, or is that kind of like spur of the moment stuff?
It's a spur of the moment.
Yeah, it's just like
you're lucky to be there because we probably thought of it like 24 hours beforehand.
Right. No, it's amazing, and it's like so dope.
We're so lucky that people have let us, take a slot and do that. You know, just as friends, to be like, the benches is that big of a deal for people. Like,
No,
when is it coming back? When is
but
it
it
coming
is.
back?
I mean, each
so
one
fun,
of you, each one of you individually are like festival headliners, and so like when you put all 4 of you together, I mean, I'm not blowing smoke. It just is what it is. It's
Yeah,
like, you guys are
it's
fucking
fun. It's
smashing it.
It's funny because it's not planned at all. We never actually talk about what we want to do like on stage until we're walking up to the stage. So it's just like a big B2B. Actually no, for Vegas we did come up with like an intro, and we set up a whole kind of set list of what we wanted to play. But everything other than that was just like hard. We did hard, like special guests, and that was just us plugging in USBs and having fun with it.
So sick.
If we sat down and kind of figured something out for next year, it would be kind of cool. But I can't promise anything.
The fans want it. I'm telling you.
I know the fans want it. I know the fans want it. I know I'm not the only one who gets asked all the time. I know Hayden gets asked. I know Chris gets asked. I know Tron gets asked.
And I like the idea that it's like what you're
It's
saying.
we
spur of the moment.
Yeah, we can't run away from the benches.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing because
Yeah, it's great. It's fucking awesome. No, and it's just
I love
like,
those boys. So.
No, and I just remember back in I think there is a picture. I have a picture with you guys from like year 1, or maybe it was at Cinespace where we're all sitting there, and it was like before the benches had even started, and then I saw that and I'm like, all these motherfuckers. It's amazing. But no,
I would love to do a show again.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely, we should do a Space Yacht benches show.
Ooh.
I don't know if the agents or managers will.
You'd have to talk to them. I mean, I'm always cool with anything.
I don't think that's happening.
Don't worry about me.
But we would love it.
I'll be there regardless.
Shout out to .com, Yultron, Keizo, the other bitches
crazy.
in the mix.
Yeah, I miss those boys.
Good fucking lads. So it's that time of year ago. A year again. That time of year ago.
A year again ago.
That? It's that time of year ago. It's that time of year again. All I Want for Christmas mashup. Mariah Carey. Dubstep fan base. Can you talk a little bit about that video? Because I literally spent the entire morning fucking cracking up. Because I usually
comes around every year. This is year 3.
Whenever I prepare for these interviews, I go to Twitter. So this morning, I literally I was showing my wife. I was like, "This is the funniest fucking."
Is this year 2 or 3 of this video?
Is year 3, I think. So basically, if you go on,
yes, it's year 3.
Go on Ookay's Twitter if you don't know what we're talking about. Set the stage for it. So it's who is the? You're not DJing in that clip, right?
No, it's AFK.
So AFK is DJing.
I saw the video, but I was watching the video on my timeline with no audio because it autoplay sometimes.
Right.
So all I'm seeing is people headbang like crazy, and I was somewhere where there's just normal music playing, and I started laughing, and I'm just like, because it was like right on beat,
right,
with like whatever was playing normally. So yeah, it was around the time I started seeing all this Christmas bullshit pop up.
Right
after Halloween. I'm like, bro, it's too early for this shit. And it just lined up perfectly, and I just I made the edit at home real quick and turned it into a whole thing.
It's so funny because when it drops and he throws his hand as the drop is coming, and then everyone's headbanging to All I Want for Christmas is You.
It was 150 BPM. It was perfect.
Brilliant. It really that was just literally all morning. I was
I didn't have to manipulate anything. It was just I just placed it on top and there it was. So
that's
great.
Gonna live in infamy forever. I mean, every year that's like the Justin Timberlake meme of when
I know
May.
Barstool Sports try to remake it, but
that's so fucking funny.
That's a good attempt, I guess.
All right, what else do we got here? So that might be everything.
Hell yeah.
Wait, no. Before we go, I want to talk a little bit about your new merch because I really love that sweat tee. Which is dope too because it's a T-shirt based on a track that you put out.
Yeah.
So
it's literally the cover art.
Yeah, and then you also I saw. Do you have that Christmas sweater with the dog? Is that real or was that just a?
Yes, it's real.
It is real.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about your merch at all, or do you not care about your merch?
Do I not care about my merch?
I don't know.
Care about my merch.
Some people are like.
No. All right. So yeah, the sweat shirt, which is just a pun in itself.
I like how you wear it tucked in when you played that techno set.
Yeah. I wear things tucked in.
I know, but just tucking in a T-shirt it's not not everybody's doing that.
How about people start doing that?
I feel like you could do that with suspenders. You could do suspenders in a shirt.
You're right.
It's kind of like a rude boy ska type vibe.
Yeah. Have you seen people wear belts and suspenders? It's kind of like
it's
double.
not. It's not.
It's
from
one or the
where
other,
I grew up,
right?
it's not really. It's like you want to dead that.
Yeah.
It's not.
You can't have two. Yeah. It's like socks and sandals. I don't know.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it depends who you ask. Socks and sandals, huge with the kind of bro community.
You're right. I shouldn't even touch those waters.
Yeah, let's
stay away from socks and sandals.
Shout out to socks and sandals.
Yeah.
I don't want like that. That's all you.
I don't want
to go on
that. So yeah, the sweatshirt is out now. You can go get it. I think we're extending the Black Friday sale. So
yeah.
I think we're still going on with that. Christmas sweater. We were supposed to release it last year. and it wasn't ready in time. And I was like, shit, this would get to people after Christmas.
Right.
So we're like, all right, let's hold on to them for a whole year, and we did. And here we are, round
it's got a
2.
bulldog on it, right?
It's got my pug on it.
Your dog, yeah.
Yeah, it's got my pug on it.
Amazing.
And we're gonna do some special promo for that this week. So
I love that.
Yeah. If you're listening to this or watching this, you can go get it now at the Ookay shop on my website.
I love when artists like bring their dog. Like my new visuals are like Cubby actually made me new visuals.
Oh, Cupboard
with my dogs.
Yeah, he's killing it on YouTube.
Shout out to Cubby Kramer, YouTube
Legend.
A real influencer now.
He's an influencer.
Amazing.
He does all the All My Friends thing, right? He
does
the
visuals
music
for
festival.
All My Friends, and then he does he's part of Noizu.
Yeah,
He does like all like the imagery. For
creative
Noizu.
director Cubby Kramer.
Yeah,
everybody,
amazing.
Round of applause.
No, it's great to see. It's great to see all our friends kind of shine right now. I feel like at
awesome.
the time of the beginning of Space Yacht, everybody was kind of getting their projects together, and now it's like people have really fully realized.
This is the middle of everyone's 5-year plan.
Right.
We're halfway into that plan, and everyone seems to be doing very well.
Yeah. No, it's good. I need to get my. I'm at the end of my plan. I need to start a new plan.
I'm at the end of mine too.
You know what I mean?
Mine was a 3-year plan, so I probably should.
Yeah. Actually, for Space Yacht, we're year 2 of a 5-year plan. You know what's good about excuse me.
Pretty good 2 years, man.
It's been a good 2 years, but also with what I like about the plan is that you go back to it and you can. It's like it's your benchmark. You know what I'm saying? And it's like. We went back to our plan and we actually smashed everything we were going to do. I thought we would just make it and by the way, I'm not just talking about financially. I'm talking about just like the concepts you want to do, right? Yeah. So
creating a culture.
So I think that like even though you probably hear this from like a lot of different like fucking Tim Ferriss and all these like, you know, people who like are trying to make you better at your life, like writing down the plan is really important. Because it just keeps you in line, and you don't even need to show the plan to anybody else. But it's when you write it down, it takes on a whole new meaning,
right? And
you're almost like you have to be beholden to it because you're like, I fucking wrote it down. Like you know, when I look back at this, it's like it's on me to make sure that I've accomplished it.
Then you feel guilty,
right? No, but it's like, and a lot of managers, friends that I've met, like when they start working with an artist, they make that artist start a 3-year plan right away. Yeah. And be like, here's what do you want to do. I'm your manager. I'm going to help you realize your shit, not the other way around. Exactly. So as we go into 2020, if you're listening to this, it's your boy LondonBridge letting you know, write your plan down. Even if it's a year plan, 3-month plan, 6-month plan.
Have a plan.
Have a fucking plan.
It could be the dumbest plan of all time, but if it's beneficial for you, then if like your plan is to start, I don't know, the YouTube channel,
making a food
TikTok
truck,
account.
a waffle food truck.
If you say, hey, I want to learn how to cook,
sure,
learn how to cook with any ingredients in your house in a year or something. I don't think it would take that long.
No, it'd be quick.
You have to cook every day.
It's just like fucking you do something every day.
It's a habit. It becomes a habit.
Good at it, Yeah. I mean, definitely for production, at least on my end, it's like. I didn't know how to use Ableton, and then it's like I started working every day on it, and then like when I met you, I didn't know how to produce anything.
Yeah,
I was
really
like, I wasn't even doing the LondonBridge stuff. I was still doing like social media for DJs, and that's kind of how I got into it, And I wasn't.
You're great. You treat a room really well. Like I remember on the ship, you were just like,
oh, thanks, man.
Like even with the MC stuff, like tight. Yeah,
no, the talking is like is part of the deal for me. Yeah. Like that's my shit. Is just kind of being like. How we doing?
Engaging with the crowd,
Yeah, I liked. Well, really, like I just want to be like a personality on E or something. It
works.
Like that.
Yeah,
I want to be the next Mark McGrath. You know what I'm saying? Just being like, like on Extra. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's your boy LondonBridge. Did you hear what Katie Holmes was into this week?
The one where like the mom's like, oh, he's my favorite on the show.
Right, exactly. I want to be mom's favorites. That's gonna be
mom's favorites. Dude.
That's what I want to do.
Mom's favorite, LondonBridge.
All right, well, fucking hey, this is 55 minutes of an interview. I mean,
my God.
We're
So
gonna have you do a guest mix, but 5-minute guest mix.
5-minute guest mix.
Oh my God. All right, so we're going into a 5-minute guest mix from Ookay.
It's gonna be like.
I feel like you should hold on.
Chasing colors.
No, it's gonna be 4 minutes. So I think you should do. Can you do a 4-minute
mix?
4-minute mix?
Yeah, I can do 4-minute mix.
All right, we're going into a 4-minute mix. Thank you, Ookay, for being in studio. Appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me.
It's awesome hang. Awesome discussion.
I was a whole cold brew in.
Yeah.
So it was like jittery as hell.
And we're about to go into a 3.5-minute guest mix from Ookay. And
fuck it, let's make it 2.
All right, we're going to a 2-minute guest mix from Ookay. And thanks everybody on Facebook Live for tuning in. We will catch you next week on Space Yacht Radio. It's your boy London Bridge, and we'll catch you on the flippy flop.
1 minute 30-second guest mix.